Well, in case some of you may be joining me for the first time, please consider subscribing because it's my job making videos to help you make fewer mistakes and keep healthier bees. So please subscribe. And I oftentimes have coffee time. I'm sitting on top of this hive today, enjoying a cup of my awesome coffee because I roast my own green coffee beans and I grind them fresh every morning. Look at this. I'm actually drinking out of a coffee cup that is Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. So this is an artist that painted this picture, and I went and saw one of his museum presentations where they have all these PowerPoints. It's a virtual museum of all his paintings down in Louisville, Kentucky a few weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun. It made me think of one thing though before we jump in this hive. How many of you really have a purpose in life? Are you really doing stuff that you really want to do? And I read a lot of stuff about the artist Vincent, about his dream was to really paint. He wanted to communicate to other people through his paintings. He died. He killed himself at an early age of 37 years old. He didn't really feel like he was accomplishing uh, being able to communicate to people. And I wondered how many of us are really pursuing things of passion, of interest, and what is our motivation behind it? It made me think about myself. I love communicating to you about beekeeping, and I like to share my knowledge with you. And that's kind of what gets me up in the morning, and that's really what I think about all day long. I'm probably spending most of my life, about 80%, thinking about videos, how I can present better videos or better information to you guys. So it's a lot of fun for me to have a purpose in life that wakes me up in the morning, gets me going. And what is your purpose? I wonder what you really are, you know, focused on in your life. I know all of us don't have to have an exact purpose, an exact specific thing, that one thing that motivates us every day. I realize that. I have a lot of interests, don't get me wrong. And I pursue a lot of those interests every day and all week. But beekeeping videos, man, I get excited about that. I really do. I get excited when you leave comments. So many of you are helping me to reach 100,000. We just crossed 92,000. And every morning I look at that, I'm excited. So thanks for subscribing. And thank you guys. I love you all. And I really appreciate you giving me a reason to wake up in the morning and try to help you be better beekeepers. I'm authentic. I think I'm genuine. I think my interest is really to help you. And I'm learning. I don't know it all at all. At all, do I know it all? Even though I'm a certified EAS master beekeeper, I don't know it all. And I've even forgotten stuff that I used to know as I get older. I can't remember everything. But I love bees. I love helping people learn about bees. And this is a thrill for me. Right now, doing this, sharing my thoughts with you, getting ready to open up and look at bees with you, you're kind of like my friend. I view you as a friend that's hanging out with me today over a cup of coffee. It's like you've just kind of stopped by on a Saturday morning. The weather's nice, and you say, "Hey, can I watch you, Dave, get into this hive here?" And I say, like, sure. By the way, I called myself Dave, and I never do that. I don't know why I said Dave. Because most people that don't know me call me Dave. And I'm fine with that. Some of my closest friends call me Dave. My very, very close friends are allowed to do that. But for the most part, I go by David. And the only person that really ever called me Dave was my dad. He called me Dave all the time. Everybody else called me David. I don't really have a strong preference. I'll respond to both. Kind of like the old saying, as long as you call me for supper, I don't care what you call me. But I don't know why I call myself Dave. That's kind of strange. So anyway, I think it's fun to have you as a friend on the other side of that camera. I mean, it gets boring. There's nobody here. There's nobody within a mile of me. Nobody lives by me. So I spend a lot of alone time making videos and editing videos. So when I have an opportunity to think about you guys and that I'm reaching 92,000 subscribers, even more viewers. A lot of you are viewers and don't subscribe. I don't know why you want to make me sad for, but that's your thing. That's your dillywig. I don't know. That's your dealio. But anyway, I really appreciate an opportunity to be an artist, so to speak. The canvas for me is a open screen on Final Cut Pro, my video editing software, and to make all these artistic um, pieces of video, and I can string them all together like an artist and make it something that is educational, enjoyable, and entertaining to you. Wow, that's really, if you weren't out there watching it, I'd kind of be like, probably not doing this. And I think that's how Vincent van Gogh felt. I don't think he felt like anybody was really enjoying his work. I don't think he felt like people were um, being inspired by his work. So I'm hoping to inspire you, to encourage you, and to be motivated to enjoy life and think about what is it that you're doing that you get a lot of enjoyment from. By the way, to be able to pursue one thing in life that brings you a lot of joy and satisfaction, you really have to have a sense of direction. Some people say value or morals, but you have to have a desire to have value and respect yourself enough that you want to go out there and help other people. If you can't help other people, what happens is you can become very selfish, self-absorbed, where you just wake up and you buy yourself a new car, you buy yourself a new TV, you buy yourself a new vacation, you buy yourself a new party to have. You know, you're just always self-absorbed. And boy, that gets old fast and lonely, and you get unhappy. But to be able to do something where your value in life is contributing to others, man, doggone, that is good stuff right there. All right, let's jump into this hive. Let me take a sip of coffee. By the way, I'm going to wear this popular, very well-known hat and veil, which many of you asked me, where did you get that? Did you make that? Yes, I made it. And I've made a whole video on how to make this. So be sure and look at all my videos. Binge watch me, for heaven's sakes. And you'll see how I made this window in this hat and veil that has helped me see 100%. Okay, again, let me remind you guys, I've got a ton of videos. If you're just stopping by and you're just seeing this one for the first time, you oftentimes will ask me a whole bunch of questions. And all those questions are probably answered in all my other videos. I've made over 400 videos on YouTube since 2008. That's how long I've been around making YouTube videos. I was making YouTube videos before it was cool. All right, let's open that up and let's smoke it a little bit. Like that. Okay, how did my burlap do? Oh, small hive beetles, get them. You know me and beetles, man. We don't get along at all. I'm gonna kill them with my bare hands. I'm gonna use a strap to hold my lid open. There's a beetle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5 almost got away. Some of them did get away, but I killed 5. But look at that. I'm using this burlap as an inner cover to keep the comb from being attached over here to the top of the hive. Now, will this burlap kind of roll off pretty good? In our package bee operation, raising queens, burlap is used in the queen mansions to keep queens separated between the divisional boards. I put 2 layers on there. So let's see, there's 1 layer, that's cool. And here's my second layer. Let's get some smoke going. Okay, I can tell that the burlap is attached through propolis to the combs. So I'm just kind of gently pulling it, see what happens here. See how that's propolized right there? Man, there's a full house in there, isn't it? Dang. Now there's a little bit of comb back here attached to the the burlap. Oh no, it wasn't. It was just attached a little bit. Stuck there. Okay, so far so good. It's easier to pull it off of the burlap than it is off of the wood. The last time we opened this up in the last video, there's a beetle. The last time it actually stuck and broke some combs. Pretty tight group of, comb in there. I see that this one here, this piece here, it's attached to this one, but I think this one has a full comb in it. And then they've attached this one next to it. It's hanging down, so that could be a problem. And they've started a little one here. Let's take a look at it. I'll pull it out. Look at that little baby one started there. It's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah, why would anybody want to use a hive like this? I know some of you old hard standby Langstroth people are like, I'd never use a piece of frame like that. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. That's dumb. That's a waste of my time. I really feel like sometimes there are people that just have to set their record straight and say something intelligent, no matter if it's right or wrong. They want to give an input like, oh, I did this and did that. I'd never do that. You should have done this and that. Oh, can we pull this out? Lift it up. Ooh. All right, so just like I thought, look at that. Got some comb. Got some. Oh, there's a queen. Middle. Gosh, there you go. Yep, beautiful queen. There's some brood in the middle. How about that? Who can pick up a frame and boom, got the queen on the first try? It's pretty cool. Let's set her down here. Is that a beetle? Nah. I'm going to just park her down here temporarily just so we know where she's at. So that as I move these other frames around, I don't run the risk of injuring the queen. But these frames look really attached to each other. Look at that. Dang. Woohoo. I don't know. I don't know if I can actually pull these apart or not. Let's give it a try. It's like pulling teeth. I don't know if it's stuck to the propolis or the frame next to it. I mean, I want to be able to pull the frames up and down. Okay, it came up, but dang, that's full. I mean, it must be like massive. We're going to put that back in case something bad happens. I'm actually going to park it a little further back too, giving me room to manipulate the next frame maybe. I don't know if I want to look at any more. Maybe one more, okay? Back to Vincent van Gogh. I liked some of the quotes that I read that his brother said. Back then people wrote to each other with letters. Theo was his name. Theo had a lot of good, encouraging things to say to encourage his brother. But I think Van Gogh just had some real depression issues. He just, I haven't really done a lot of work. Some of you probably read about him more, but he just seemed like he just couldn't find satisfaction in life and living, I think. Tried. He just couldn't. Back in the mid 1800s, I don't know, it kind of was moving to go through and learn about him and look at his work and read some of the stuff, the correspondence between Van Gogh and his brother. But I was most inspired by him saying that he only wanted to be able to communicate and kind of teach or help others. And he was doing that, expressing himself that way through his paintings. Are any of you painters? Do you like to paint? Leave me a comment below if you're a painter. I used to paint a little bit when I was younger, like oil paintings and all. My wife is a good painter and artist. Her mom is a really good painter as well. Her mom has actually painted a lot all her life. And Sherry's dad recently started painting too. They're in their 80s, mid 80s, I think, late 80s almost, and they're enjoying painting. Like people enjoy keeping bees. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it's just fun. Oh, that's the one I had to rope in last time. I had another video if you want to go back and watch it about some of these just didn't work out really well. I think that frame that has a green rope on it actually broke, so I had to put that together. So today it's Saturday morning. You just dropped in. Pretend you just dropped by, and we're just hanging out together. That's kind of fun, and hang out with somebody, talk about things. In the old days, back when I was a kid, like in the 60s and 70s, my dad, he would meet people. He was an electrician, and then he got to where he kind of worked his way up where he lived, and he worked his way up to be a plant manager. Then he worked his way up to be vice president of the place. I mean, he was pretty inspirational of somebody that I think he only had a sixth grade education in Arkansas, back in the 30s and 40s, but he worked his way up to work hard and learn, and he did, and worked his way up pretty high in the company, and pretty inspiring individual. But I was going to say, my dad would often be seen, and I was with him a lot, just talking to people a long time. Like we go out to the plant at night. I mean, after he was done working, but he would just go out there and talk. And on the weekends, like if we were fishing or something, he would just go and do some tailgate talking with people. They'd be talking about, whatever, politics, weather, stuff like that. They'd just be talking and sharing, and it was fun to communicate. Talking with neighbors, outside on the porches, talking with neighbors. Man, I don't know. Today, we've lost a little bit of that somehow. People don't oftentimes like to talk much, especially face to face. That's sad. I kind of feel like, doing stuff like this with you, we're just sitting around talking face to face. All right, that's a done deal. Got in there, checked it out. Going actually pretty good. I'm surprised they're doing as good as they are. And they're kind of staying on those circular pieces of wood pretty well. And it does have some beetles, but we're smashing those. A hive like this makes it a little tough to do basic bee stuff like, yeah, you can probably harvest the honey, but you might have to crush it, squeeze it, drain it out. Doing mite control on a hive like this is going to be really tough. I'm doing a whole series on mite control. In fact, I'm editing a new video today along with this one on Formic Pro. Good video. You guys be sure and subscribe, click on the bell, be notified each time I make a new video, because that new video is coming up in a day or two on Formic Pro. And I really want to share that video with you. But it'd be hard to use Formic Pro here because the label requires a different kind of configuration. There's no example on how to treat mites in a hive like this. You can play around with it, maybe cut the strips smaller, use lesser strips, but then you're not following the label, and that becomes illegal. It's harder to add more frames further past the very end of this thing. You can't stack it on top. It's the difference between a vertical hive and a horizontal hive. It's just, you can't put a queen excluder on here. It's just a whole different ball game altogether. So if you want to try to keep bees like you would in a Langstroth hive the same way in a hive like this, it's not going to happen, baby. I'm sorry, it ain't going to happen. This is just something that you do, and you're just going to have to do it the best you can, and you're not going to be able to do it your traditional ways because this is not a traditional hive. When would I ever recommend that you use a hive like this? Yeah, I may not, to tell you the truth. I think everybody should start off in a traditional hive where most of our field tests and surveys and research has been done out of Langstroth hives, and learn bees really well. Learn how to really handle bees, know bees, and then once you get to be really experienced, you can play around in stuff like this just for fun. You just see what happens. And observe bees in different scenarios. Bees would do this if a big tree trunk fell down, a big limb fell down and it was hollow, then this is how bees would live naturally in a hollowed out limb or tree. And so they do pretty good, as you can see, in a hive like this. Now, I don't know why this particular colony is so, I'm going to say friendly, not defensive at all. I don't even think I would have to wear a hat and a veil, but I want to protect my face. But I don't know if that's the nature of this particular colony, or if being in a log like this calms them down. I don't know, but they are one calm set of bees. Crazy. And it's cool that we saw the queen too, where she was way in the back there. So, kind of fun to play around with stuff like this. I'm going to say that for all of you watching this video, if you want to go back and watch me, I actually built this, put it together, built the frames, and then we put bees in it out of a nuke. And then we inspected it once to see how it was going, and we had some issues. We put it back together, and now we're in our second inspection here, and things look pretty good. So watch these videos that I'm making. I make about 3 to 4 videos a week for you guys, and I hope that you can stay up on the videos as much as you can. Helps me out a lot. Also, I'm going to be speaking at North Carolina Bee Conference State Beekeepers meeting coming up at the end of this month, which will be July 2022. I'm going to be speaking over there, so if you're around that club and you can see me over there, I'll be giving 2 talks, and that'll be fun. And then the very next week, I'm continuing on my speaking tour. I'll be working at EAS, Eastern Apicultural Society of North America, in Ithaca, New York, at Ithaca College. And I'll be there speaking as well in the short course. And then I'll also be working as the field chairperson over the field exam of Master Beekeeper candidates. So if you're an MB candidate for EAS, I'll see you there this year. Be sure and say hi to me. So I've got a pretty heavy schedule coming up. I'm going to take my camera with me everywhere I go, and I'm going to be making videos on the road. So like I said, be sure and stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to keep pumping out these videos along the way. So I know that this has been a good year for all of us. A little dry weather, but it's been a good year to start beekeeping for some of you brand new and you're trying to figure stuff out. I want to thank you guys for buying so many of my online classes and leaving so many positive comments about my online courses. I really appreciate that. I feel like that we really need a good foundation before we keep bees. Keeping bees out of just haphazardly, out of just a very limited amount of knowledge in our heads, are going to really be a disadvantage to our bees. So if you can, consider taking one of my online courses. They're a lot like this right here, me talking to you, teaching you about bees. Another reason this might be hard to get through the winter, I can't put a winter bee kind on here. It's just, I don't make winter bee kinds for this kind of hive. So the winter bee kind is a great way to get bees through the winter. If you didn't watch my videos last winter, we kept looking and inspecting those hives all winter long. Gosh, those hives were awesome coming out of winter. So strong. They came out of winter stronger than they went into winter. That's how much the winter bee kinds build them up. So if you're looking to purchase one of my winter bee kinds, I know a lot of you are asking questions about it. They go on sale August the 1st, just in a few weeks, and they ship out usually in December. I have to have cool weather to ship them. So you got to place those orders as soon as you can, because they ship in the order that your order's placed. So go on the website, honeybeesonline.com, look under feeding solutions. The winter bee kinds will say sold out until August the 1st. So to get ready for my next mite control video on Formic Pro, please watch the one I did on Apivar strips. So I'm going to be testing a lot of these treatment options, and that'd be really fun for you to kind of get an idea which is best for you. Watch this video here. Apivar strips, are they the right thing for you? I'll see you over there.